All right, welcome to the podcast. Give me 1 second. A little behind the music. All right. Welcome to another episode of Southern Scrap Nation's podcast. Your host as always. Oh, please God, don't do this.
Hit him with the metronome.
Oh shit. Whatever. Okay, let me try this one more time as we get set up. Anyway, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Unapologetic Idiocy. Your host, Daniel Jonas, as always, and we have our friend, Dave Fitzgerald, back.
What's happening? Oh, nice touch.
Yeah. Soundboard.
Very
All
cool.
right. I guess we can just not do this. This is fine. Okay. Anyway, welcome back, dude. Cheers. Fucking
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Happy to be here once again.
Hello, YouTube world. All right. So today we're kind of just gonna bullshit around. There were fights this past weekend. There were also. I haven't even talked about the Israel fights, to be honest, either. So
no?
I'm just like not. I skipped all last week's episodes because once again, like we talked about earlier, MMA world kind of sucks.
It's like you really can't be on top of anything because it's gonna break and there's gonna be 1,000 memes about it. Like anything worth the fuck is gonna.
Yeah, I think
just someone's gonna cover it and make. It's just too saturated at this point.
Yeah, and I think the popularity of it opened up that wormhole of everyone trying to dip their toes in it, no matter how ridiculous it may seem. My friend sent a meme that was like the best UFC fight. Who's a better fighter, Khabib or Anderson? Just two totally different people. Real casual post, and it's the number of casual posts that you see now that in my mind is it almost makes me like hate the sport. But there's a solidarity in it that it's so
when it's beautiful, it's really beautiful.
And there's no bullshit with it either. So I mean, you can be as casual as you want, but at the end of the day, like real people know what it's about, and like the casualness is pretty. I don't know what the word is. It's like pretty spotlighted. Like, you know, if you're talking about casual. Right. And whereas a casual in basketball, like you said, is more a little bit knowledgeable. Yeah. And they can kind of bullshit their way through a conversation regardless of how.
Like they can hit stats and as long as you know, like the old school or whatever. Or you can even, like with the NBA, I mean, you could have an in-depth knowledge of the current teams and everything and still be a casual because you don't know your like the history. Yeah. With this, I don't know, there's just so much that goes into the UFC or fighting in general. I mean, boxing, like you said, you can just keep it with the hands, but still just every step matters. Every like positioning of the elbow when you're on the jab, so you don't,
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into it that you are kind of weeded out as a casual, which is nothing wrong with being a casual. It's just,
I mean,
there's
especially
nothing
if you
to
like
fucking
more...
say.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to be a casual if you like have other interests in sports. For me, I only like MMA, so I don't watch other sports. But there are plenty of people out there that watch basketball, football. They watch MMA. They watch, maybe they're even a little bit into soccer, football, whatever the case may be. That like they can be casuals and it still be okay. But I find myself when I talk to a casual MMA fighter, rather than talking about the stats of a fighter, they talk more about the storyline of them.
Yeah, you can really get into a story.
Right, where like no one could tell me, but also Conor sets his kicks up or sets his hands up with his kicks, and they don't ever get into that part of it, the technicality of it. I always have to talk about like who their next opponent is, what their mindset's like. It's never about the way that he stepped into the jab and the way that he kicked the leg and all the little things. And I use such a casual example as Conor, but like any fight, even this past weekend, the Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige. I don't know if you saw it.
I actually didn't watch that one.
So
already put a clinic on him, right?
Well, it was just nice because the Korean Zombie, what fucked him in the Brian Ortega fight, and what I was worried about when he came back into the UFC, and what we didn't really see was his ability to take people to the ground, and his ground game's really good. And so, obviously, with Ortega, you don't want to go to the ground, but when he implemented against Dan Ige, I was like, oh shit, like this is the Korean Zombie that got to the Jose Aldo fight in the first place. Like, he's got dangerous ground game, he's got dangerous striking, and when he did it against Dan Ige, that's where you saw where he's like still number one contender, and Dan Ige's like, just like, he's new and he's still working his way into like, he's got some wins against notable people, but he's lost to Calvin Kattar, Chan Sung Jung. So when it comes to the top of the featherweight division, he falls short in decisions. But against the Gavin Tucker, he knocked that dude out in like 6 seconds. He did the same thing that we were looking at today, where the guy was just on the back foot, had nowhere to go, and
just close that distance.
Yeah. So, I mean, but other than that, like, the Cheeto Vera fight was cool, but it's only because I'm a fan of Marlon Vera. Like, that's a guy that...
David Grant's... he's no bitch either, though.
Yeah, David Grant was... I mean, I
was excited to see that one. Missed all of them.
Marlon Vera put a beating on him. He looked great.
Yeah.
But these are guys, once again... If I'm having a conversation about these guys, it's a story, narrative-driven conversation with somebody.
Right.
It's not like... No one's talking to me about how Marlon Vera's got amazing kicks and his ground game's awesome and yada yada yada. They're just more like, oh, I'm a huge fan. I'm Ecuadorian, that's why I'm a fan. Or I'm from the UK, that's why I'm a fan.
Or Sean O'Malley take it even a step back, and you can do the O'Malley narrative and everything. Yeah, like
O'Malley's great, where he's even got casual fans in the sense that just stoners like him. Like, you don't even have to be a fan of MMA. You're just like, oh, that dude that smokes weed and fights, that's cool. I'm excited for the Conor thing, but as far as...
I'm excited for this weekend.
Cyril Gane versus Alexander.
That's my favorite right now.
Volkov's a great fight, but Daniel Pineda,
Andre Fili's back.
These are pretty good fights, not gonna lie.
This
weekend, as far as a fight card, stacks up better than last week's.
Yeah.
Because it's like exciting fighters. Like this Julia Villa girl. She's just like crazy. And has a lot of like aggression when she fights. And she's going against, I think this chick's a technician in a way. Warley Alves is coming back. I mean, the last guy to beat Colby Covington. Or not last guy to beat him, but before Usman was the last guy to beat him. And then...
Is he getting the Usman fight? Is that a guarantee?
Yeah, but right here. He's supposed to, as far as what Dana said. Dana's like, Colby's getting it. But Nate and Usman...
Nate's not going to fight him.
Well, Usman said...
Is he?
Usman's like, I see you 209. If you really want this 187, then call your boy Hunter. You're locked down. Told what to do like a good champion. Saying that he's going to fight Colby next.
Yeah.
A guy that already punked. Keyword champion. All you guys just internet, though. Guys nowadays, like I said, if you want this pressure, then holler at your boy Hunter. Doing great champ.
God, only Nate can just get dominated in a fight and be like, "Nah, I'll take that title shot."
Well, but then he came out and he said, "I wasn't trying to disrespect. Have a good fight with one of those poor guys you tried to beat up." So Nate recognizes the fact that if he was to fight Usman would just suplex the shit out of him.
Yeah,
and just beat the hell out of him worse than Leon Edwards did.
I really think Colby is the fight. I don't want to see Masvidal.
I want to see Usman.
I want to see Leon.
I want to see Usman versus Wonderboy.
Oh,
and then all my questions will be answered. Wonderboy versus Gilbert Burns this weekend. If Wonderboy can go out there and just like smoke Gilbert Burns, which is not easy to do, but if we saw he had trouble with Usman's jab, he's gonna have trouble with Wonderboy's front kick. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
If you can't solve a jab, you're not gonna solve a weapon that's even longer than that.
I think Usman Burns fight 10 times. I think it's 5-5.
Possibly.
First round was all fucking.
No, not anymore.
You don't think since he corrected the jab?
Yeah, since he's just corrected his striking. I mean, he knocked out Masvidal, first guy to ever knock out Masvidal. You're talking about like, and I'm not saying his striking's the best, but you're talking about a guy whose wrestling is so intimidating to others, I guess, that it's like, I'd rather defend the takedown. Like, I don't want to be grounded out for the idea of being held against the cage and just being put on your butt, forced to work and get up. It's like, I'd rather just defend that and then use my head movement or quote unquote head movement and footwork to try to avoid his terrible hands. But
now that he's corrected the
his
hands a bit
are better, so you can't just like neglect the fact that he also can't neglect the fact that he's only been striking for a little bit. Like, the more he spends time with Trevor Whitman.
Yeah, but he's been in some of the best
right.
striking camps.
He's been with a great fundamental coach in Henry Hoof.
Yeah.
But you're talking about keep it simple, stupid. That's his whole thing.
Yeah.
And eventually you need a guy who's going to go, all right, well, let's work on range.
Break through a little bit, yeah.
And angles and, like, make them think. And once you start working all that together, yeah, this guy, I mean, Usman is GSP 2.0. He's finishing people. He's got the wrestling credentials that GSP didn't necessarily have.
Yeah.
But he worked on his hands. He's not as much of a kicker, but man, I don't know. He's really surprised me, and I'm starting to side a lot more with Usman and every time he fights, I'm like, all right, now I'm more Team Usman.
Yeah, he wins. Yeah. He wins me a little more every time.
And he wins in like fantastic way. Like, after all shit talking, like he really embraces the moment. He knocks out Masvidal. He knocked out Burns, a guy that he really like emphatically puts a mark.
Yeah, there's a little punctuation to it, but yeah, and he's fun. He's kind of developed like that narrative, that story, and everything that goes along with him. The Burns fight, teammates, all that. The Colby fight, there's hatred there. That's why I'm kind of excited for Colby too.
Yeah, I mean, that's fun.
Masvidal, that's like the Florida boys going at it.
Yeah, but personality though, that's where he loses me. That's where a lot of these guys lose me. A lot of them are not charismatic, or they're trying, or it's just not. I don't know.
It's all forced, kind of.
Yeah,
for me.
No one's just themselves. I'm trying to think of any fighter right now. I mean, Izzy's cool as far as.
I even feel like he's putting on a little bit.
I mean, the more the spotlight's on him, he's gotta like exaggerate.
Yeah.
But like Brandon Moreno now, he's nice. Volkanovski is just a dude.
Yeah.
He's a guy being a dude. He's not a. I mean, obviously, those two Max Holloway fights are.
Come on, dude. The second one, I had money on it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yes, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Cash, thank you, Max. And.
Yeah. And what sucks is like, I don't know. Max is, to me. All right, so Volkanovski's fought. He hasn't fought anyone since Max. Since Max, right?
He had Ortega lined up, and then.
So for me, since that fight, Max has went on to fight Calvin Kattar and put on a show. And that's where I see like that championship mentality in Max.
Mm-hmm.
That the other.
And then calls for Yair.
Yeah.
Which he's injured now.
Right.
Max is injured.
Right. But it's just like.
God, that would have been the one for me.
But see, that's where the Yair thing comes in. It's like, oh, Max is a great matchup, but now that he's out, give me that Barbosa and Yair. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Just like I want to see Figgy Smalls and Petr Yan. What are you doing, folks?
Yeah. You're damn right.
Yeah. If you want Figgy Smalls to go up at the 135, give him a relaxation on that body, give him another merciless savage of a dude, and just have him and Petr Yan go at it. Now I feel like Petr Yan would win that fight, but I still think that's like matchup wise, it's way better.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than. Like the Yair and Barbosa, I think is like way better too.
Are they just holding that fight?
I don't know.
I feel like there've been a lot of pullouts in the past. I know COVID and everything slowed it down, but it almost set a precedent to where it's okay to just put everything on hold. It's a little more acceptable now.
Where do you go to get news?
Me?
Yeah.
Straight to the source, dude. Fox News, CNN.
Fox News. Oh. I was. That's what I was thinking.
Man.
Fox News, CNN.
Usually, honestly, like academic journals, I'll have a question and then go to that at this point.
Yeah,
PubMed. That's usually all I give a fuck
PubMed?
about. As far as what, MMA news?
No. Just
in general.
News.
I look up articles.
PubMed. You look up articles like PubMed on here.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And this is just okay. Naturally enhanced. See trending articles.
Because all I really give a shit about is
Naturally
health and.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you're definitely not gonna let. I mean, no one at a cocktail party is gonna fucking go home and search this, but
No, for sure. But I also don't give a shit
Yeah, I
about
know.
anything, really. I don't care about.
I'm just trying
I
to
care about sports and this.
I'm trying to think. I mean, other than I don't really get my news from Reddit. I kind of just see what.
Oh, Reddit's good. I mean, if you want to, I mean, you're gonna have babbling idiots.
Yeah,
on
I know.
there, but
It's
it's
just like
good.
the-
It's good to judge where the culture's at on something.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. It's kind of seeing what the general consensus of what people
How they feel
lean
about a
toward,
person or a situation.
and
Yeah.
how it leaned towards. It's a good like thermometer in
That's a good way to.
Yeah.
Good way to describe it.
for
Actually.
for like what's going on in the United States. I mean, it's always funny to have like shit go on in the United States and then see the comments of people going like, "Well, it could be this way." It's like, "Well, not in the United States." It's like, Jesus Christ, he's just trying to. I love the instant hostility.
Yeah.
I love that. I
People
love
are-
how one
people
person
are so angry.
Yeah,
That's
well,
just
it's just
so-
like someone will say something, and for some reason it'll go through someone's mind like all they're saying in is just like some hostile tone. So they come back, "No, dickwad, it's this." And they're like, "Who talks like that?" Like, who asks who? Yeah, who just responds to a question with just like aggression?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, it's kind of like today when we had lunch.
Dude, the
waitress.
the cat got the Adderall the other day. Got a little bit of Adderall. So I'm looking shit up, and there's like these forums and everything. I'm like, okay, ate like 2 milligrams of Adderall. It's not gonna do much, but I'm just looking up like, how do you do it? And there were just like 80 posts on it, just like, don't let the cat get Adderall. Dipshit. Like, okay, we got that part. That's not why we're on. Like, who goes on to a thing?
This is more of a.
That's exactly what it looked like. Too. Not quite
This
to that
cat
level.
accidentally
Yeah, look at them
an ADD
spaz.
medication,
Dude, they just
and
can't.
all
Their
of a
eyes
sudden
dilate
is
so
aware
much that they
of
can't
everything.
get
Don't
their
worry, this video was
orientation.
recorded while driving the cat to an event.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that one's spazzing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This one was a little slower. His head was just like, poor buddy.
That's hilarious.
That one's
yeah.
spazzing.
Wait, so is he fine?
Yeah, he was fine. It's just like
It's just that you have
they
to let
can
it wear
handle
out.
it. Yeah,
That's fucking hilarious.
we should get the kitty in here.
And give it Adderall. Get a bunch of views.
But
Hell
cats
yeah.
are wild, man, because you can just, like, they won't do anything. They just will never touch something for, like, a year. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I think I want that now.
Yeah,
You get comfortable with things, and it just, like, snuck in behind me and
right now the
snag.
cat is 3 months, right? Yeah, he's 3 months.
Look that up.
He's like 3 months, so he's in constant hunt mode. Like, he wakes up, wants to hunt, and it's just attacking things. But this morning, my girlfriend took him out, and since the front yard is kind of big for him, like just going 10 feet, it's like, okay, that's enough. Like, I need to go home. Or I need to
Oh,
go back.
yeah.
So we're like just seeing my buddy's cats, her friend's cat, like they get fucking big, and that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for these little things that I can just like.
Yeah, my sister, they're weird about leaving the like a certain radius. My sister took her cat like a little bit too far, and the thing fucking spazzed and hit the full like Tasmanian
Damn.
devil on her.
Oh, scratched all up and down.
Dude, yeah, they just spaz, and it was just like 1 foot too far.
Yeah, isn't there like a thing about how cats, they have like a territory, and then it depends on like their territory. It can be big or small. It just depends on the cat, and then that's all they'll ever do. They won't ever leave it.
What a fun animal.
Yeah. Oh. And then they get to come home, eat the food that you buy, and then treat you like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
For liking you.
Still easier than dogs, so.
Yeah, taken care of. They're more independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, dogs are definitely not.
I mean, that thing if you had a puppy that age.
Oh yeah.
3 months. I mean, you have to be on top of it nonstop, just shitting everywhere.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like our cat came in litter trained at like 2 months,
Sick.
and that dog and on my dog when I got him, it was like I got him home. I just remember getting home and then in my mind going, he's gonna shit in my house for a little bit, and it's like I just had to be okay with. He's gonna take a shit in here.
Remember when we went over to my buddy's place here, and he had just, oh my god, just gotten that dog.
Gross.
And he was just living in a pool of piss. The whole apartment was just urine.
Yeah. He and he just like
he embraced it a little.
But it was kind of like
too much.
those people that were like, I hate when people do this. They put like the pads down, and they're just like, just piss on the pad, and then I'll just like clean it up later.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man. Just take
Take
him
it
out.
Or if you live in an apartment in a city where
Beat
you
it
can't
so it
take them
doesn't
out,
ever fucking
don't get a dog.
Yeah, that's
be
it.
alone. Be happy.
Or
figure
okay,
yourself out.
So if you do live in an apartment, get a small dog that's pretty much a cat.
Mm-hmm.
One that you can pick up in one hand. Like my aunt wanted to get a dog, and I'm like, I tell my mom, I'm like, there's no way my aunt is gonna be able to have like a regular dog. She needs something that at any moment she can just pick up with one hand.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Dude, I don't know what it is about these geezers getting the big dogs and then just like getting jerked on the leash and just snapping their arms.
Fucking, my mom retires first. She goes on a walk with a dog. Dog chases a cat, pulls her fucking down, and she breaks her hand. Just get a dog. Just get a small dog.
Yeah.
Just get a small dog.
She's got to have a horse dog.
Yeah, you gotta have a poodle or something.
Cyril gone.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. Thoughts.
Really good. The only negative aspect I have on Cyril Gone is that
Don't make
Ngannou's
this racial.
is Ngannou is the champion.
And they're boys. So boys and training partners.
Yeah. So what's
it's
the
like-
plan? That's my thing. Is like,
Yeah, what are you gonna do differently if you've just?
Are
shown
you
your-
gonna do the if he goes on camera and goes, I'm gonna do the Gilbert Burns thing and fight him. I don't care if we're training partners. No, okay, cool. More power to you. I don't care. Now I'm like way on Cyril Gane's side. I think he has a chance at heavyweight at that case. Like you're talking about a guy that in 2 fights, known as a striker, his first fight in the UFC, submits the guy.
Subbed him.
And then the second fight, beats the hell out of the guy and still subs him. So there's a fight IQ there that Ngannou's like still working on, and it's a guy that has fought for the title twice already. So when I was talking about Conor, it's like how many times can your star shine? How many times do people have a climax in their life? Right now, Ngannou's living his like the climax of his life. Like it doesn't. Like, it's going to shine real bright, and it's up to him on how long it shines. Like, John Jones is, like, towards the end of the shining of his light. But he's, like, trying to keep it bright.
But his preservation of the shine has been great.
Yeah.
Whereas, he's taken it to where people are like, that's a boring fight. Well, he also didn't take any damage.
So, whereas, like, if I'm Ngannou, the way I'm looking at it is, if I'm Ngannou, dog, I'm calling out Cyril Gane. I'm like, fuck you, dude. This is my shit. I have no friends in this game. And then take his soul like over him.
Yeah.
Like if you want people to hate and love you and just have a react. If you want people to react to you, like be the Terminator that he is. Like just demolish, like figuratively end everybody.
Yeah.
Like, and don't let people like
questions.
Like I think Izzy said it. It's like everyone, or maybe Conor. It's like everyone just wants a sick highlight after their career. And if you're Ngannou, your life is already a bunch of highlights. Like, why not have an hour of you just like uppercutting everybody and their souls just like leaving their bodies in every shot? Like, that's a legacy to leave. But if you're playing tiptoe because your buddy's, top 10 guy and you guys don't want to fight each other. And
that's the one thing about Cyril that I'm a little bit concerned about is he seems kind of like a nice guy. Well, they both do, honestly. I don't know how the championship mentality is going to work out for him. But, I mean, I can see him piecing his way up to until you hit like a Derek Lewis who's just
well, that would be the biggest
brain dead. Just like all he knows is hit hard.
Well, Derek Lewis is a little bit better. Like, he's a bit better than that. But that's where also the fear is he's so technical that you have a Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane fight, or a Derek Lewis versus Ngannou one fight with Cyril Gane and Ngannou, where they're kind of just standing there and just looking at each other. And
right.
Gane is throwing feints out, and Ngannou is staying patient.
Lewis and
yeah, right. I mean, but it would just be an identical thing to that. The hope would be Cyril doesn't care about Ngannou's power because he's felt it before, and then he can go in there and like feint and touch, and then just kind of piece him up for 5 rounds.
Yeah,
and avoid the big shot. But Ngannou is working on it. He's getting better.
He did show improvement from the Rosenstruck.
That check hook was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did get caught a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
What's Stipe doing now? It seems like he just took his
he
L
wants
and
he wants
bounced.
the third fight.
Does he? Damn, dude. There's never been somebody that I'm like, he's so good and doesn't have to do it anymore. I don't know. What happens if Stipe wins it again? Who's next for him? Just a slew of monsters.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too like, I don't know. I just feel like Stipe is one of those guys where it's kind of done.
It's that time, yeah.
And that's whatever. I mean, he's a heavyweight, so it will last. It'll always be longer. But I mean, how much longer with the amount of damage he's taken by Ngannou?
Yeah.
I mean, every time that guy hits you, it's world changing.
Yeah.
Life changing.
Want to talk Adesanya fights?
Yeah, I mean,
that card rather.
Yeah, the Adesanya versus Marvin fight was.
Marvin lost me. You want to talk about someone with no charisma or bad on the mic, just like killing your stock.
It's forced, baby. It's
Jesus.
all forced, baby.
Shows up in the suit and everything, running his fucking mouth. I can't understand a word he's saying.
I mean, the delusion of thinking that you won the first fight's enough to.
That's enough, yeah.
It's enough for me to be like, all right, well, obviously you don't want to. Jesus.
Damn.
Damn, dude. Did you see his back? Ugh. Is that guy not? That guy's definitely paralyzed, right? No. He seems fine. Oh. Florida. Yeah, no. I think Marvin tried to replicate Jan's thing. He just couldn't pull the trigger. He didn't go to the body. There's nothing that Izzy did that made me go, oh, listen. I was actually kind of disappointed in Izzy's performance in the sense of like, this is the second time you fought this guy. You think that you could give Jones a problem? All right, well then look at anyone Jones has ever faced in a rematch. He destroys them in the rematch.
He downloaded them.
And when you fight Marvin the first time, and and you've been telling the camera, like you tell everybody what he's going to do, and he did it.
You fought a worse Marvin.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. I have a guy that literally didn't get any better, and you got better, and you couldn't put him away. To me, I'm not saying that it's that easy to go out there and put someone away. But his performance to me isn't like, oh, I want to see him versus John. Because I feel like if he fought John would fuck him up.
Especially after a loss, you'd think he'd come back really hungry for Vettori's soul.
So that's what I was thinking, was when he was going to go into this fight, I thought there was going to be like a little bit of a chip on his shoulder that people didn't think he was that good. So he was going to be like, well, I'm going to show them. Like, I'm going to finish this dude. He's going to go in for a takedown, and I'm going to make him pay. Like, when he'd go in for the takedowns and stuff, I thought there was going to be a little bit of a evolution where Izzy would do a little bit more of the Joanna aspect, where every time they go for a takedown, he blocks and then makes him pay hard.
Spins out, elbows,
knees,
yeah,
like all that, and just
which
shows.
you know, when he got the sweep and everything, it
It
looked good.
To me, it showed me that he was good. Like, I know his jiu-jitsu. He's been working on his jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. But you still went on your back. We're still, like, as a striker at his caliber. I forget who maybe it was you I was talking about. I hope we can make a change in. I hope we can make a change in the world, in the MMA world, in the next couple of years, where diving for legs becomes a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Where you get a lot more of the Rob Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum, where he comes in with strikes and they're fighting, and then mid combination or mid exchange, if you want to change levels, instead of like diving for legs, you get body lock and go down, which I'm not saying that you shouldn't take people down at the legs, but if they're like, and I'll give you an example, if they're shelled up, and then it's real easy to just grab their legs and take them down, or what? Fair, obviously, it's an offensive wrestling thing. It's almost like tripping them.
Yeah,
like T.J. Dillashaw, John Lineker. John Lineker would shell up, and then T.J. would go in and like do that trip thing, and then get on top and start implementing damage. But if you're like Damian Maia,
right,
where you're just crotch sniffing,
we got it over and over.
Which is kind of what Marvin's game plan was. It was use shitty striking to not fight him. To get to sniff his crotch and bring him down. And to me, that's frustrating, because when the other person doesn't make the right adjustments and make them pay hard,
then you just get away with it.
Then they get stood up against the cage, or they get pressed up against the cage, and then they're getting rewarded for just diving at their legs. Like, good, just press forward and dive. And there's gonna be a lot of coaches out there, and good on them. Whatever way you win fights, that are going to be like, yeah, well, if it's a win's a win. But it's like, yeah, but if it's not a win, that guy has to go back the next day and watch a fight of him getting punched in the face, missing shots, and diving at legs. Like, if I was a fighter, I'd be like, man, I look terrible.
Yeah.
Because the pros outweigh, or the cons really outweigh the pros.
Who was it that was Edwards was throwing the tie trips on Nate?
Yeah.
That looked good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, he was making good reads, and that kind of stuff's great, because the tie trips they're demoralizing in a way.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I try to explain it. The more fighters, when they come in and stuff, I'm gonna try to work on it. But when you get like the DC high crotch guys that can like lift their opponents, or they can sweep them hard, or they can toss them, I like that, because nothing's better to me mentally than watching someone go with ease. Not through ease of like ease because the other person's weak, but just because they have the timing, the
balance,
leverage, and everything all perfect. That they're doing shit like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because everything's just lining up right. Where when they get a takedown, when DC lifts a guy because he's making all the right reactions, instead of like going to the ground with him and like holding him there, the idea of like flipping them and tossing them and then just watching them bounce like a ball, and then just like looking at them like, I'm Bane, bro. Like, this is what you signed up for. You're like, I'll pick you up over my head and snap you over my knee.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit I like in a fight. I get collegiately in wrestling or in grappling, the control is whatever. But you watch guys like, they just take someone down and then they walk over and like posture over their head and start punching them. Like, that to me
that's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff. That's what I'm.
And also, like, it is this like psychological warfare just as much as it is.
You're in a fight.
Physical, Yeah. To take someone and just smash them, and you're still standing over them.
Yeah, I mean
that does something. That's everybody sees it too. Like the judges see it. It's just
it's just
you do it once, you can most likely do it again because you already
that's why
punked them.
the Khabib beatdowns are always knowledgeable or are always rememberable.
Yeah,
because it's he doesn't just sit there and hold full guard and hammer fist and he postures up, grabs their neck, and starts like punching their face to the canvas.
Yeah,
and that's scary. A guy that just stands over you and hits you with like a little bit of shots and just is kind of holding you there just so you don't get up. It's like, okay, I guess you can win, but
what did you think about Silva's boxing performance?
Great.
I was actually really proud of him. It looked old school.
He made me fuck Julio Cesar Chavez up.
It really did. Those tiny little gloves, though, man.
They were saying that he should fight the Pauls. I don't think so. I think the Tyron Woodley fight's fine.
It's fun.
But dude, if they're like the Pauls are just picking the right people, right? They're 180 pounds, right?
I would say like $190.
$190, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let me think of people they could box. Oh, I don't know. They could box Darren Till. They could box Robert Whittaker. They could box not Izzy. They could box Izzy. Shit, man. Like Paulo Costa. Yeah, I mean, Logan Paul and Paulo Costa have like done dumb videos together, but it's like when you start talking about the guys not welterweights, when you actually talk about the 185ers, it doesn't matter what where they are in the rankings. It becomes a whole different conversation.
Right.
It becomes one of those conversations of like, oh yeah, no, why would they ever fight those guys? Like even Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
He's a southpaw that fucking hits really hard and fast.
Yeah.
So, the idea of these.
They're smart.
Yeah, they're smart.
They're
so
smart.
when they're like Anderson at 185, I'm like, sure. I mean, they'll get a good fight, but I think Anderson's eyes are just really good. I don't think they'll land shots. They might win just based off of the fact that it's their promotion.
Yeah.
But Anderson, he's like Floyd. They're not mean people. Like, these guys aren't hungry anymore.
Yeah, what kills me is like
they're not here to take your head off.
So far we've watched, we've seen Askren, we've seen the Tyson fight, we've seen Floyd on all these, strange promotions and everything, and it's a lot of Snoop Dogg and just bullshit. Mm-hmm. And then, but if you think about it, there really hasn't been a shot landed. There's just like Paul Brothers getting a quick one off on Askren or on Nate Robinson. But in like a legitimate fight, there haven't been hardly any exchanges.
Yeah.
And Floyd threw a couple threes.
Well, the Floyd fight was you had a guy that was Floyd wanted to get in the pocket and hit that body shot and like rip it.
Dude, there was a point in the Floyd fight that Floyd cracked him with a three and just, I mean, clear as day, was holding him up.
Oh,
he didn't put his. It wasn't like a clinch. You remember when Tyson was in that exhibition fight and wore that sleeveless shirt or whatever because he was fat as hell?
Yeah.
Knocked that guy out and held him and rubbed the top of his head. It looked a lot like that to me, but I don't know if anyone picked up on that.
I just think like Logan was so tired
that he just slumped.
He just like, and he got hit with a clean like. So I think it's like what Floyd was trying to do was get one of the ones that landed to his head to the body and just have him go, yeah, no, this is not for me. Because I've watched Logan take a shot from Ryan Garcia to the stomach, regardless if it's on a show or whatever. But the suburb boy came out. Like, he got hit to the stomach, and he was like you just see it. Like, there's a difference. I don't care who you're sparring in practice. I don't care. Like, I do not care. These guys grew up in boxing gyms. Like, the shots that they give and take to a regular human being, you don't have the body toughness to just eat it.
Right.
And Floyd being undersized, it allowed Logan to, like, fire blanket him. So against the guy Floyd's size in the pocket, he would just like bump him and then still shoot the shot.
Yeah.
But Logan just like and you can't bump that guy.
Right.
You're not going to just be able to like bump him and go into the. But he would try to hit in the body, and then Logan would just like fire blanket him, and that's where I was like, damn, dude, I just wanted Floyd to get just one good liver shot.
Yeah.
Just one to make him go, and just like you see, like Mom, like, oh.
Yeah, I keep giving these fights a shot, and I'll check them out. I mean, I'm not paying for anything, but I give them a shot. I give them a quick watch, and it's just boring. Like, I know what I'm getting into when I go into it. Oh shit! I kicked the camera.
Okay.
But I know I'm not going to see any big exchanges. I knew it with the Tyson fight. It was cool to see him and Roy get out there and move around a little bit. But you're basically just watching a bullshit sparring session.
Yeah,
For them to wow out over it and everything.
So that's a perfectly good example. Is like it literally is just a million people watched Logan Paul spar Floyd. That's what you paid for. It's just an ability to watch this rich kid spar the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
That's it. Floyd's not going to go out in a sparring. He's going to make money.
yeah.
I thought he was going to treat him like Tension. That's the only reason why I was like, this is kind of dangerous. Like, Tension's actually a fighter. Like, Logan's only fought one guy and he lost professionally. Like, I thought Floyd was going to go out there and hurt this kid, but he. I don't know if it's not that
they're not angry.
It's not that I don't know if he couldn't or if he just was like, this payday's whatever.
Why take any abuse?
So that's why, I don't know. Like, sure, make the money, give us more content. I guess I don't know, but it comes back full circle to the saturation of the sport. It's just that's what happens. It's not fringe stuff anymore. It's not senators going like it's human cockfighting and only the outside people that are in the fringes are interested in MMA. Now it's like Chris Hemsworth is at every fucking event. And he's like, yo, mate, this is the fucking shit. And you're like, sure, man. Like, Thor, cool.
Yeah.
And it's just like him. Robert Downey Jr.'s in there doing fucking Wing Chun. And you're like, I hate you. I hate you and... God
yeah.
damn it, dude. And everyone's a fucking expert about it, and it's just I can only imagine there was a point in football that it was like this. There's a point in basketball where there was just some old heads or somebody where there was like this. There was the instant flop from basketball was like cool to everyone loves fucking basketball.
Yeah.
Even people that can't play basketball are into basketball.
Yeah. And
that's what we're getting to. People that even can't do or have even thought of boxing or martial arts in general are into martial arts. And everyone's got a say now.
Yeah. And now that it's opened up to this wider, YouTube thing, people can talk.
But that's the thing, like even in the YouTube thing, they refuse to fight MMA.
Yeah.
And it's like, so until anyone fights MMA, I don't give a shit. Like, okay, cool, box people, but like fight somebody. Talk all this shit. You guys don't even want to go. And it's way easier to set up a fight than a boxing match. You have to get a ring. Like a fight, you can set up. I mean, I can pull up these Russian warehouse fights.
Yeah.
And they're fucking sick.
Street beefs.
Not even street. Oh, dude, check this out.
But I'm saying,
exactly.
easy.
Yeah, easy.
Dirt.
Yeah. Check this out.
My buddy fought in a street beef the other day.
Russian, bare knuckle fighting. Check this shit out.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not even. Where is it? There was one. I forget the name of it, but they're like in. It's not even these. They're literal warehouses with like a cage, and they're doing MMA. Bare knuckle. Maybe if I put MMA. No. Oh, that chick lives here in Charlotte. She's from Charlotte, and she's in the bare knuckle boxing. But you couldn't pay me to. One, I'm not coaching anyone, and two, I wouldn't even think about doing that. I want no business doing anything with bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah. We're rolling.
Do you have a quick minute?
No, not right now. We can finish up in a little bit. But anyway, fighting. Why is the guy here? Oh, okay. Russian pudding like warehouse. Hair. This could be the last thing. I'm just trying to find this one thing. Oh yeah.
Oh, we gotta get paid.
Oh, well, that's not cool.
Was that just a dead dog?
It's dog fighting.
Jesus. You too?
God damn it. I guess whatever. I'll try to find it later for you. But it's crazy. Like these guys are doing full on MMA, wearing jeans and shit. There's like 6 foot tall chicken wire fence, like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
And they're just taking each other down, beating the shit out of each other, standing back up, and just like fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, respect.
Is
like,
it like trained? Like, are they good?
It's the same way I was talking about, like, I don't know, these guys probably just grew up doing Sambo as a kid.
Yeah.
And they're like, I know how to fight. And that's the problem, not with the United States, well, not with the United States in total, but in the first world, and I don't know if Russia's third, it's not, I don't know if the second world or something.
I mean, Russia's a powerhouse, but I get what you're saying. It's not, yeah, like the parts of it are.
I'm not saying that, like, there's a manliness. There's a manliness to it that the United States and other first world countries don't have, in a way where fighting's respected. Like, doing those kinds of things, there's honor to it. You can get like a master of combat, like you're a master of combat sport.
Yeah.
And everybody in the country is like, respect. Even though in the United States it's like, whatever, dude, you do some taekwondo. It's like, fuck you, man. Like, what do you do? It's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go be something in a big corporation. It's like, cool. And I get that there's money involved, and that's what matters because we're a capitalist society. And at the end of the day, it's like, what do you do? And that's the only question that really matters. Like, what do you do? What money do you, like, how much money do you make? Like, okay, I get that it's what you do, but, like, do you make money doing it? It's like, does it matter? Why does my bank account matter to you? Where in Russia, you know, like, Khabib's father has a whole, or had, and they still, the Eagle MMA. They just have a fighting school. They have, like, this old school Chinese dojo thing where, like, you live as a family together.
It's like a boarding school.
Right. And, like, and fighting instills a self-discipline and all these, like, little things that it's like being manly is just, it's like something that you just have to do. It's in our world, it's like barbaric, but it kind of works. It's kind of like the military school.
Yeah.
Right now, I couldn't even imagine sending anyone to a military school and people in the woke progressive world being like, that's okay. What a misogynistic idea.
Yeah.
An all guys military school.
And then just like the way people talk and act there. Yeah. But like that saves motherfuckers' lives, man. Like that completely changed my life.
Yeah.
By being thrown in as a young kid with a bunch of, like, for some reason, these high school juniors and seniors had responsibility and they cared about things and stuff. It's just like, to have a craft or something to work towards really shapes you. I can't even imagine what it's like now.
Look at this little ad I'm doing.
It's probably fucking.
I mean, we kind of look like those kids.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But I couldn't even tell you. I just bet the kids are fatter now. That's the only thing I can say. Like, I bet they're all there's no PG program or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
the jackets are cool.
The kids are probably like more malnutrition
yeah.
than like.
Dude, we ate like shit.
Yeah,
so bad.
But
there. God.
I mean, like I said,
I mean, on my own when I get the food shipped in and everything.
Yeah, but our schedule was so. You didn't stop doing things until...
I skipped dinner for 3 months because lacrosse went and let out in
right.
time. I mean, I was just... I have to starve.
You just did stuff. There was always, like, every hour there was something.
Yeah.
So there was never a time where you were just, like, you take a break. So the whole Like, there, I had to watch my weight for wrestling, but I was never like, oh, I'm getting out of shape because like there's a lack of doing things.
Dude, and then like the summers was just like nothing to do. You just eat and eat and eat. What a pain in the ass.
So that's why thank you for your interest in Hardgrave. If you have any questions, simply reply to this message. We're online and ready to help.
Just be like, 27 years old. I'm interested in your program.
I should just be like Delta Academy 20 or Delta Company 08. Oh wait, rep. What's up? What's up, bitch?
Oh shit.
All right, dude.
Want to wrap it?
Wrap it. Thanks.
Go pay the man.
Yeah, hopefully this fucking thing is great.
Let's
Hit
get
y'all
a
with the Glockenspiel.
Yeah. Love it.
All right. Well,
Play us out.
I appreciate it once again.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. Check out Sunscrap Nation. I'm going to have a little video of us, trailer of the Sunscrap Nation lifestyle. Check that out. Coming on the Instagram, and I'll probably put it on YouTube maybe.
The new gym is so sick.
You guys heard it here first.
Oh, my God.
So if you guys are in the area, hit me up. All right. Other than that, sunscrapnation.com, Sunscrap Nation on all other platforms, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, I don't know if I said that, Facebook, Instagram, yada, yada, yada. Catch me there. Other than that, stay safe. Until next time, peace.